Hello everyone, it's Tonya with Scribbles in Time. I'm going to do a flip through today of my latest book that I have made, and I have named this one Cameo. Cameo is similar in that I separated the writing area from the art journaling area by doing two different books. I don't know if you've watched any of my previous videos, but a lot of times I do that by putting a book under the inside of the top cover. This one I actually stacked two books together like this, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, we've got a lawnmower going next door. My next door neighbor is cutting grass, and on top of all of that, I've had to turn off my overhead light because it creates a glare against this picture, and you can't see the book very well at all with my overhead light on because of the glare. I might have to run over there once I open the book up and flip on the overhead light so that you can see better on the inside, because the light shining in through, I have windows on two different walls in this room, and the way it creates shadows is not ideal. But anyway, I'll try to kind of fumble through this. Just if I have to step over to flip on the light, it'll just have to be that way, I guess. So on this cover, or on this top, there are two books, so you'll see two covers when looking at the top. And the top book is an old photo album from the 1800s, is my understanding. And the cover itself, like this, I'm always on the lookout for these photo albums. I've only gotten my hands on two. This is my second and last one that I have. I'm always looking for these, but when I do stumble across them, sometimes they're just too damaged to even try to invest in. But this one, the only damage was the little beads off of the front were gone on the bottom. Now the ones that were original, with the photo album from the back is still there, although I did not use the back on this particular book. But anyway, I think that adds to the uniqueness. I think that shows the age of this photo album. I started to cover that with a strip of muslin, but I didn't want to. I like that. It makes the book more unique. So again, it's two photo albums actually. The top one, like I said a second ago, is from the 1800s. The bottom one is more recent. I don't know how old it is. I don't know how old it is. I've had it for a long time, but it's not, it's just more like me, it's vintage than anything. I would say it's probably, it might be vinyl, but I think it might be pleather. It's like a deep green color. I don't know how well that's showing through, but I've put ink on it. I didn't do the gesso on this book because I didn't want the abstract, the look of the gesso to contrast with the photo album that's on the top. So I chose to leave the gesso off, although I did do a lot of the ink on it. This is an old locker number. This is just an old rusty piece of metal. So I think I've shown all the different angles of the book. So we'll go ahead and get started. The measurements of this book, it is kind of hard to measure because y'all know how I am with all my stuff poking out and all the layers, but just to kind of give you an idea, if we measure it, it is somewhere around, like, with all the stuff poking out, maybe 8.5 to 9 inches. The actual, let me see, the actual cover, the bigger of the two covers is like, I'd say probably 6 3/4 inches. And then on the side here, with all the stuff poking out, I'd say probably 6.5 inches. But the actual cover is like 5.5. As far as the height, oh, I'm sorry, knocking the camera. As far as the height of the book, it's about 3.5 inches for height. Now, I like to do my books. Now, this one you could actually slide into like a bookcase. The side would look like this. But I do like to do my books to where it's more of a, I'd say like a decoration. I like to do books to where they can be left sitting out on a table and they just, look like something that someone wants to pick up and investigate and see what's in it. That's kind of my goal with my books, so hopefully I've achieved that. Now, I've had someone ask me how I do the little clasp here. The both of the books I had were missing the original clasp. The way these were designed is they have this little, and they would have a strap that would come over and lock into this little nub right here. Can you see it? So the way I've done it is I've made some little O-rings here with a lobster claw on that so that it just hooks over that little nub. It actually stays pretty well while you flip through the book. It stays closed unless you mash down on it. When you mash down on it, you create that little bit of slack that allows the lobster claw to fall off, which is, you know, that's what you want it to do so that you can get inside of it. Little piece of metal here with lace. Did I leave anything off? Hopefully not. So let's go ahead and get into it. So when I press that, you saw how the lobster claw just kind of fell over. Oh, did I show this? So this is a little glass vial right here. That's the original number label on it. Now it did have little sewing machine pieces in it. I mean, you know me, I think things like that are very cool, but for this particular book, it really wasn't a cool look. It almost looked empty on here. So I chose to put some little pearl-like little beads in there because I thought that stood out better against this dark green. Okay, anyway, so when the top part, again, the top part, as I said, is for journaling and writing. I left about, I would say there's like 38 writing surfaces in this top portion. Now, I did not count, like some of these pages are, see, to me, that's there for the crinkle effect, although it's good for attaching receipts or, you know, a photograph or tickets or whatnot to it. I like it for the sound. Anyway, the first page has the metal. I think I'm going to flip on the overhead light. Y'all bear with me. Sorry. I knew this was coming. Hold on. I think I want to do that because I think that'll help offset some of these shadows a little bit. Okay, so the first page has this little metal tag on it with some just snippet pieces behind it, little strings, and I call it the bird nest snippet. The bottom of the page has lace. Now there is a lot of fabrics and laces and crochet through this book. If y'all watch my previous videos, y'all know I'm not good with that. I don't know names of all of this material, so I'll just try to show you without having to try to guess at the names. But here's a little piece of muslin with an old rusty safety pin. And then this page is graph paper. This is like a cardboard something, whole reinforced, I don't know what it is. It's a piece of cardboard with a strip of muslin put through it, and then this folds open for extra writing space. The crinkly paper that I just mentioned with some trim coming down it. Graph paper. Hold that up so you can see that beautiful trim. More of the crinkly paper, and again, I didn't count this as writing paper. I only counted the pages that are better for writing on. This is a piece of music paper here with a little corner tuck spot. This is a coupon, by the way, just an old coupon. And I just tucked it down in here. This is a ticket, I believe, a train ticket. And I just attached it on the top here with a paper clip. On this side, I put this kind of a mustard yellow. Do they call that root rack? I don't know. But I put that across from this pretty Edith Holden page. Little piece of material coming down between the pages. That's the center of the signature, of the first signature. This, on this piece of paper, I just attached this Pennsylvania Railroad tag. This is another piece of the music paper with a little thin I don't know what that is. It's thin. It's pretty though. It's hard on camera to see some of this. It's especially when the lighting's not ideal. This music paper actually had some writing on the top. On this graph paper, I used some of the same trim as there. And it folds out like that. Because this book on top is kind of small, I tried to make sure that on the pages that I, you know, had them fold out for more writing area. This is in between the two signatures. And again, this folds out. And then on this page, I did one of the metal, oh, what are these called? Oh no. It's the little markers that you can put on a page that, you know, like in a book to say where you stopped, or if you have some documents you need someone to sign, you put those there that, you know, points to the spot for them to sign. It's little metal. I just tucked a little piece of trim up in there. I can't think of what that's called. Page marker? I don't know. Some grungy trim coming down there. Another Edith Holden page is the center of the second signature. And that's the back. And so this is where I was telling you the way I attached the top photo album to the bottom one. There's just layering coming out in that little vial that I showed you. And then there's the little lobster claw with the O-rings. And then we'll flip open the next area. See if I can put my hand kind of over the picture so that there's not too bad of a glare. So I hooked that back, and now we'll open up this back section. So on this back section, when you flip her open, the Cameo here on the first page is the namesake of the journal, a beautiful Cameo pendant. I attached her on there with the look of almost like a necklace. And then this is actually not the chain that went to that. This was some chain I had, and I just kind of stitched it onto the crochet. You'll see all the layering back here. And cardboard, just all different kind of layering materials back here. And then the crochet in this beautiful fabric that Pam gave me. And then on the front inside cover of the book, this is a piece of crochet that I've attached there. And this is a metal gasket that works as a tab to open up the second section of the book here. And I did leave it open so that you can tuck, you know, something through. And I kind of went through and tucked this in there like that so that the ribbon pokes up through the top. I know I already said it, but I did leave areas here for painting or sketching. I left this is all mixed media paper. You can watercolor on it. Sometimes I'll brush gesso all over it. Now in my book, I've shown you on previous videos how I've started actually painting in my book. But these are just ways that the new owner can put their own touches in the book. There's like 13 spaces in here for 13 blank spaces on the inside of this section for doing artwork or more collaging. On this page, I did all kind of materials. This is another metal tab. And then a crocheted, like a little coaster little doily. It's the size of a coaster in the center there that flips with the page. More places for doing some artwork. This, let me hold this up where you can see it better. So this here is, I think you call these cabinet cards. I call them mats, but these are what came in this original photo album here. So it came full of these, which I love. And so I did use one of them in here, and again, that's one of the locker numbers there. And then I left this open. Let me see if I can find something to show you. This isn't very good. I left this open so that you can slide a picture into here. But I also put one behind it, collage on the paper back here, so that it appears that there's already an old picture in there. Like that. Y'all aren't going to believe this, but do y'all remember in the other book where I couldn't remember what that little metal thing was? It just came to me. They're called book darts. Book darts. I don't know why it came to me now, but that's what those are called, if anybody's interested to know that. It's not often I get to educate. Anyway, this is a piece of material that my friend Dee did some beautiful stitching. You can't see it very well on camera. Is it even coming into focus? So yeah, in person you can see it better, but it has beautiful stitching on it. I love the way she does that. There's another piece farther on the back of the book, on the back side of the page back here. I'll show you, but the way she does it, it almost looks like what do you call the, well, let's just forget that I started that conversation. You know, the, what do you call that material that has the this stuff right here? Let me show you. I can find it all. Here we go. Sorry, this stuff. I know what it's called. I just went and restocked on it, but I can't think of it right now. So yeah, she does it with her beautiful stitching, like that. And to me, it just has that look about it. Ticking. Wow. Okay, so anyway, yeah, to me it looks like ticking. I love it. I beg her for it whenever I see her. In fact, she sent me a little bit in the mail. When you turn the page, this is also some paper that Dee gave me that her sister made. It's handmade paper. Hold it up so you can see it better. So the texture is just wonderful. Beautiful trim coming down the side. And then on this side of it, there's the handmade paper with a snippet on the front. And this is it's an old game token with the number 9 on it. Art space here with some fabric coming down between the pages. Yes, I you know, put the an old book page in between in a page protector, and there's a Cameo up here and another metal tag right there with a piece of string coming off the side of that. And then this says, let's see, never forget the small things, those that make you smile, are things to hold dear to your heart, if only for a while. This is the other part I was telling you about where she did the stitching on it. She did it with some multicolored string. And I thought it looked very pretty with this fabric. That is the end of the video. Yay, we made it through. I stumbled some, typical me. And you can see this book actually stayed done it stayed clasped the entire time. But that seems to be pretty much everything. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, please. And feel free to ask any questions below in the comments. I am going to put this in my Etsy shop. It should be there before this video posts. Oh, the glare is bad, sorry. It should be there before this video posts, hopefully. But yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks so much. Y'all have a blessed day.